Bounded on the west side by the new adult learning library that's currently under construction. On the east side is the River Vista project, so just across the river on the west side of the river. In that RFQ process, we received several strong bids, both locally and regionally. We were down to the final two parties, EPC Real Estate out of Kansas City and Delano Partners, based obviously here in the city of Wichita. The next stage that we're here to talk about is tomorrow evening at the library. From 6 to 7:30, there will be an open house where both of the submitting parties will have an opportunity to share details, renderings, take questions from citizens who attend about their respective projects. It is a come and go type of event. There will be feedback cards provided for those who attend, provide feedback and comments. Those comments will then be provided to the qualifications committee, who will review the questions and will conduct a final interview to select their top candidate. We are excited about this. Again, we open this up to any member of the community, resident, visitor, to come out tomorrow evening again from 6 to 7:30 at the library. It'll be a free event with comment cards. We look forward to your input. This exciting development which poses a new opportunity in the downtown area. So with that, I will open it up to any questions that may exist.
Can you tell me a little bit more about what the city expects from this development? It's a mixed use, but what does that mean?
Sure, great question. So mixed use, obviously today's world, many people have different ideas about mixed use. Generally, it's a combination of, it can be office, it can be commercial, it can be retail, it can be residential. I think tomorrow evening you'll see a combination of a number of those ideas in both proposals. With the Delano district, in that area, it's kind of an eclectic but growing, exciting area on the west side of the riverbank. And the thing we're particularly excited about is on either side of this development is approximately $70 million worth of investment going on today. So this will be a great corner piece for that segment of the Delano district.
Does the city have any preference, office versus residential for both?
I think at this point the committee is looking at all opportunities, and tomorrow evening we'll take the feedback that citizens come back with. I think it'll be a combination of office and retail, and residential would be the proposal from the two that you'll see tomorrow evening. The committee will have to take that up in its final consideration about what is the proper balance. One thing that we caution both, or any proposal that came in through the door, the committee can choose to select one of them or choose to select none of the above and continue to hold on to the property to the proper time. But we are confident that we have two strong proposals for consideration.
What's the rough size, dollar size for the two proposals? Can you give me some sense? How does that compare with the other two projects going on next door?
Well, again, the property is about 7 acres. Part of the proposal was to offer what they think their market valuation for the property. So tomorrow evening that will be shared as part of their proposals to the community. As we mentioned in our request for qualification proposal, it is not necessarily what is the best and highest value of the property, it's the best and highest value project for the property. So property value comes into that consideration, but also comes in consideration about aesthetics, what's their design, how they take into the Delano district's concern about the rail corridor and how that is incorporated into the project. All those things go into that mixture that the committee will then make a recommendation on.
I know a lot of members of the media received an email saying that this is going to be the first time that city has openly sought public feedback about the sale of vacant infill land. First, is that true? And then two, if it is, or whether it's not, why are you all seeking that input from the community? Were you hearing a lot from people?
Well, you know, I can't speak historically if this is the first or last time it happens. I will say this is the first time under my time here, which I've been just over a year. I think because of the interest in the Delano district and the excitement of what's going on downtown, we thought it was important to open it up for feedback from the community. That feedback will then be provided to the committee, who will ultimately make the final determination about what to recommend for council action.
Can you say at all what the Delano neighbors in general have been saying? Or?
It's a mixture. It's all above, different ideas. And I think tomorrow night they'll have an opportunity, not just Delano neighborhood people, but throughout the city. We encourage them, whether you're east, west, north, south of Wichita, to come downtown and to see about this exciting project. I think the exciting part that people are visualizing is you have River Vista, which was a much talked about project coming up out of the ground today that will have boat access, bikes, high-level type of living. And on the west side of that is the new adult learning library, which is exciting. And right in between is this key piece of property. So we think this is a great opportunity to get feedback from the community on both proposals. They bring different elements on each one of these proposals, and I think it's interesting to have the opportunity for the public to provide their insight.
There's a street that cuts through this property. Do the two projects, how do they take that into account?
You know, I'm gonna tease you and encourage you to come out tomorrow night. I will say they both use it as a key transportation corridor. Both of them have slightly different views about how to utilize that, how to utilize the pathway. And without me tipping my hand about my personal thoughts about it, I encourage you and others to come out and to take a look at it and ask them the question, and then perhaps fill out a feedback card that then you can provide your feedback to the respective parties and to the committee. And that's really what we're interested in, is provide that feedback to the committee, so as they consider and do their final interviews with the two proposals, they're taking into consideration what the feedback was.
Is it correct that the neighborhood has been really interested in having a piece of that reserved as a park?
There are differing views. I mean, when we went out and talked, there are some within that community who would say park, others would say, hey, if they can provide public gathering space, whether it's privately or publicly owned, that's important. I think it's key, because the library is right there, is as people come out of the library, is there a gathering space, or is it a public gathering space, is it a private gathering space, is it coffee shops that open up into kind of a gathering area? Again, I think, not to tip my hand, but I think that's why we're encouraging people to come out tomorrow to see the respective ideas and plans, different perspectives, and that's good in this type of process. Any other questions? Sure.
You talked about it briefly, but Atlanta is one of the areas that we've been seeing a lot of growth, and there's been a lot of new restaurants that have been going into that area. As someone who is involved with the city, can you talk a little bit about what you guys have been seeing growth-wise within that area?
Oh, sure, absolutely. I call it an eclectic area, and a lot of cities, eclectic growing areas are what attract people. People often try and say, is that millennials, is that whatever? I think it's all the above in this district. As I go down there for lunch or for dinner, it's all the above. That's the exciting thing, to see a mixture of people, whether they're at various different restaurants or taking advantage of different shops down there. I think it's just that walkability, that's that pedestrian level, that people can get out and walk from buildings to buildings and see the different types of shops. And I think that's founded and backed by the interesting housing that's going on around there. And so both of these projects, what we've encouraged them is, how do you adapt and how do you relate to the neighborhood that's out there today, while still bringing a fresh approach to what their development is. So we're excited about Delano District. It's one of the things that we talk about with people across the U.S. about why Wichita is we have great, interesting districts, and Delano is just one of them that is popping right now.
So are we talking about a piece of ground that's directly to the south of where the new library is being built?
Is both. There's a parcel just directly south of the library and directly east. I call it, there's a triangle piece that's bordered by Sycamore and McLaren, and just east of that is a River Vista project. If there's any other questions, we'll conclude. And again, yes, thank you. Later today, about lunchtime, we will be posting on the city's website renderings from both the proposals. Again, as a teaser to get you to come out tomorrow evening, again at 6 to 7:30, if I haven't said that enough, at the library. We encourage you to come out. So thanks again for the police for allowing us to come in for a few minutes.
All right, appreciate Scott with his update on the Delano improvement project. Like I said earlier, we have 3 Interwatch items we're going to go over today. First one, aggravated robbery, case number 16C 73080. This occurred in the 2300 block of East Mossman yesterday, approximately 9 p.m. On October 17th, at approximately 9 p.m., officers were dispatched to a carjacking in the 2600 block of East Mossman. Upon arrival, they made contact with a 32-year-old male who stated that he had seen a 35-year-old female he knew from high school driving down the street. The victim stated that he had contacted her in the 2600 block of East Mossman and was talking to this female when an unknown suspect got into the passenger seat of his 2004 Cadillac CTS four-door. This suspect then pointed a silver handgun at him and demanded the car. The victim was struck in the head with the gun as he ran from the vehicle, and then he called 911. The female returned to her vehicle, which was a silver four-door with dark tinted windows, and left the scene, and the suspect drove off in the victim's vehicle. The blue Cadillac was located shortly later in the 900 block of North Holyoke, unoccupied, and we ask if you have any additional information on this case to please call our detectives at 268-4407 or Crime Stoppers at 267-2111. Case number 73080, 2600 block East Mossman. Second case will be an aggravated battery, case number 16C73092. Occurred at Hydraulic and Waterman yesterday at approximately 10 p.m. On October 17th at approximately 10 p.m., officers were dispatched to an assault call at the area of Hydraulic and Waterman. Upon arrival, they made contact with a 55-year-old male who stated he located a 50-year-old male victim lying on the ground with significant injuries, and that he had been battered by an unknown suspect. The victim was transported to an area hospital for treatment in critical condition. His current condition is unknown at this time, and we ask again if you are in this area and witness something or you have any additional information to please call our detectives or Crime Stoppers. We have no suspect information on this case at this time. And let me back up to the aggravated robbery. I do have a suspect description on that one. From the East Mossman, it's going to be an unknown black male in his early 30s, 5'10", 170 pounds, with short hair and a medium complexion.
So are they looking for the female also?
Yes, yeah, they are looking for the female as well in this case. This was a known female to the suspect, or I'm sorry, excuse me, to the victim, as he had known her from high school, he stated in the report. So they would like to speak with her in reference to this case as well, yes. Last case number is going to be a criminal trespass, case number 16C73067, occurred in the 1400 block of East Fortuna yesterday, the 17th at approximately 6 p.m. On October 17th, approximately 6 p.m., officers were dispatched to a burglary in progress call in the 1400 block of East Fortuna. Upon arrival, officers had observed a subject inside of a residence. Officers attempted several times to call the subject out of the residence, which was unsuccessful. Neighbors were contacted who had confirmed that the house had been vacant. Officers then gained entry into the home and checked all rooms and did not locate anybody at that time. At that point, a K-9 unit was dispatched to the residence to help with the investigation, and the K-9 was deployed after additional commands were given to the suspect to come out of the residence, and those additional commands were unsuccessful as well. The suspect was located and bit in the attic by the K-9. The suspect, a 35-year-old male, then surrendered, was checked by EMS, who was on scene, and booked into jail for criminal trespass and an outside agency warrant. Fortuna, Fortuna. Anything else? The suspect was 35.
Any leads on a stolen van?
I don't have any more information on the stolen van from yesterday at this time. I can look further into that after the briefing here and see if there's any other information, but I don't have any currently. All right, that's all I have. Thanks, guys.